So I just wanted to send you a quick audio, just sharing some words that I need to hear myself and maybe you also need to hear. So I hope that these words resonate and help you feel more ready for the week ahead. Let me know. So the first thing I wanted to say is that no matter how far some aspect of your life is from the way you actually want it to be, no matter how different and how distinct the current reality is from the desired reality, I want you to really understand and appreciate that there is nothing wrong. So there is nothing wrong with you, and there is nothing wrong with your life. So what often happens is when the current state of things is very different from how we want them to be, we can end up just slapping a label on the things, on ourselves or on aspects of our life. And the thing is, all this does is generate internal stress for us, and really it's like an energy expenditure. That resistance is us losing energy on resisting things instead of actually conserving energy to create the experiences that we actually want to create. I think a good example of or a good way to kind of access this truth in your own mind is when you think of, when you look back on your life and you see those kind of really difficult moments that happened, and when you reflect and you see how things actually turned out and you see where you are now, you can see that actually those things, that situation that felt very horrible, it felt very contracted and you felt very stuck in that moment. When you look back now, you see, that was actually a perfect turn of events. Or if that hadn't happened, then this other thing that was really great wouldn't have happened. Or if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have learnt X, Y, and Z lesson. So try not to get too caught up in the small details, because we can't see the master plan. We can only see that bigger picture when we're out of it, when we've moved on, when life has moved on and we're in a different place. We can look back and see that those details, they either didn't matter, or maybe they were an integral part of our own growth, of the change, the ultimate change that we wanted to get to. So just see where you are maybe labeling things as wrong, and see if you can just let go of that label. Just say to yourself, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with my life. And just see how that feels. I feel a sense of relief when I say this and when I know it. And the other thing I wanted to say is you don't have to figure everything out. So if there is a certain goal that you have or a thing that you want to change, it can be tempting to put all this pressure on ourselves to have the perfect plan and to know all the steps involved. How are we going to get from A to B? But the truth is, we can't possibly know all the steps, and really all we need to do is know what the first step is. So what is the first thing that I'm intuitively drawn to doing? So just trusting that inner guidance. If there is, a particular conversation that needs to be had, or a certain piece of information that needs to be gained, whatever it is, inside of you what is the next right action to take, what feels like you're being asked to do. And that is all we need to know in any moment, is the next step. So Release that pressure. If you have been placing pressure on yourself to know all the answers, just release that pressure and just allow yourself to just know the first step. And if you don't know the first step, then just ask for guidance. So put that out into the universe. I don't know what to do, but I'm open to receiving that guidance. I would like to be shown my next step. What is the best next step that I can take to move me closer to X, Y, and Z goal? When we do that, when we allow ourselves to not know everything, we can allow ourselves to be more fully in the present moment. Just that sense of ease, of peace, of being with our current experience, and the less judgment that we place on things because we are just with things as they are now, the more available we are to see what's here now. So seeing all the lessons, seeing the opportunities, seeing the gifts, and also just feeling the moment-to-moment pleasures of life, of daily life. So see where you can maybe let yourself be more fully here, more fully in the present moment. And it could just be noticing that while you're on your way to work or wherever it is that the tendency is to be overthinking, and maybe just see if you can drop that and just fully drop into the present. So noticing what you're seeing around you, noticing the sensations of walking, those physical sensations of walking, appreciating the sights. So that's my suggestion. Just kind of be aware of where you are up in your head, and which may be a lot of the time if you're like most of us, and just allow yourself to drop into the present, fully enter the present moment, because again, you do not have to figure everything out. You don't. And if you try to do that, it's only going to give you a headache. So the last point I wanted to raise is the importance of taking care of yourself and letting that be enough. You know, we have often this idea that we are secondary, that how we feel is secondary, that really what our value and our worth is in all the things that we do. But really our value is in our energy, is in our emotional state. You know, we can't achieve the things that we want to achieve. We can't change what we want to change if we are running on empty. And our ability to govern where our attention lies is an amazing power of ours, and so we can use that to take care of ourselves by just paying attention to our own feelings and our own emotions, and just sitting with that loving awareness. And we can also recognize when our attention is over focusing on negative thoughts, and we can decide, you know, that the wonderful thing about us humans, us conscious beings, is that we're not like microwaves where we have a certain wiring and it never changes. You know, for a microwave to change its function, we'd need to get an electrician to, you know, take it apart and rewire it. But with us, we can rewire our brains and create new habits of thinking and feeling through shifting our attention. So recognizing where your attention is, asking, is it serving you to be focusing on that? And shifting, and often it is that shift from mind and thoughts and doing to body and feeling. So just being with, it's not that hard. So to wrap up, I just want to invite you to consider, what is the step that you feel inside of you that there's this nudging towards, that you need to take, that you want to take action on this week? So again, it could be a conversation, could be finding out a piece of information, could be sending an email, making a phone call. So just leaning into your intuition. What is it that I'm being asked to do here? What is the next thing? And try not to overthink it. Like, just trust that it doesn't need to be massive, doesn't need to be this massive action. It could just be one tiny little thing, and just trusting that the next step will reveal itself in the flow. Number 2 is, what are your commitments to yourself this week? So your own self-care, your own well-being. What are the things that you would like to commit to for that?